Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. And today, we are taking a look at a question that seems to be on a lot of people's minds these days, and that is cold approach dating dead?
Hmm.
And we're going to be looking at this through the lens of this Reddit thread that just blew up on Ask Men Advice.
Oh, wow.
And this 25-year-old guy, he basically posed this question to the community, like, do men actually pick up women in public anymore?
Interesting.
And the responses were just fascinating. Like, it was like opening a time capsule, on modern dating.
Yeah, I can imagine that sparking a lot of conversation, different opinions, especially considering how much the dating landscape has shifted even just in the last decade or so.
Totally. So what was the overall consensus? Like, are guys still, going up to women that they don't know and trying to, spark a romantic connection?
It's interesting because the overwhelming majority said no way.
Really?
Like many flat out said they wouldn't even consider it. It's
Right,
like
yeah.
the very concept of cold approach is almost like taboo for a significant portion of these men.
That's so interesting because it does seem like something you mostly just see in movies now,
Right.
not so much in real life.
Hmm.
But I did notice that some of the older guys on the thread, they were talking about a time when cold approach was not only common, but almost expected.
That's true.
Yeah.
For them, it was just part of the dating game, especially pre-social media.
Yeah.
They were talking about, meeting people at bus stops and bookstores and even, grocery stores. Imagine, a world where a chance encounter could lead to love, without the safety net of dating apps.
Yeah, that's wild. It really makes you wonder, like, what caused this shift? Like, why are so many men seemingly terrified of approaching women in person now?
Well, I think technology definitely plays a role. Online dating and social media have become so ingrained in our lives,
Hmm.
and they kind of provide this sense of control and safety, which makes real world interaction feel much riskier in comparison.
It's true. I mean, think about the potential for embarrassment, especially in the age of viral
Oh
videos.
my gosh. Yeah.
You get rejected at a bar, and next thing you know, you're a meme.
Exactly.
Nobody wants that.
Right. And then there's the impact of the Me Too movement,
Mhm.
which, sparked important conversations about consent and respect in
Mhm.
social interactions. And many men express concern about, coming across as creepy or misreading signals,
Right.
leading to, you know, more cautious approach when it comes to engaging with women they don't know.
Yeah, so it's not just about fear of rejection. It's also about, like, a genuine desire to be respectful and avoid making anyone uncomfortable.
Exactly. And, these factors combined have definitely created a more, complex landscape for dating. But, on the flip side, there were still some men in the thread who argued that cold approach isn't dead.
Hmm.
They believed that confidence and, strong social skills can still lead to success.
Are they, like, clinging to an outdated idea, or is there still something to be said for that bold, in-person approach?
It's a great question. And honestly, I think it depends on who you ask. We did see some interesting comments from women, including one who said that while rare, a well-executed cold approach can actually be more impressive now
Yeah.
because it shows initiative and a willingness to step outside of the digital bubble.
So maybe it's not so much about the method itself, but about the intention and the execution.
Precisely. And, that leads us to the question of, what are men doing instead of cold approach? And, we're seeing a shift towards alternatives like dating apps,
Right.
which, as you know, come with their own set of pros and cons.
Totally. Some guys on the thread were, like, swearing by them. Others were like, oh, these are the worst.
Yeah.
So frustrating,
Yeah.
superficial.
Yeah, it seems like there's no easy answer when it comes to navigating the modern dating scene.
Totally.
But this entire discussion, it really highlights how crucial it is to be mindful and respectful, regardless of how you choose to approach dating.
It's all about treating people as individuals and recognizing that everyone has their own, comfort levels and boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I think it's time to dive deeper into these alternatives to cold approach.
Yes.
We've got dating apps, we've got shared interests, and we even have the potential for serendipitous encounters. So we'll explore those in more detail when we come back in part 2.
Stay tuned.
And don't forget, you can find more deep dives
Yeah.
like this one on Shauna Pelage's YouTube channel, Voices of the Soul.
It's packed with insightful content on relationships, personal growth, and so much more.
Exactly. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with your friends who are also, trying to figure out this crazy world of dating.
Absolutely. Welcome back to our deep dive into, the evolution of dating.
Yeah, last time we were talking about how the dating scene has clearly changed. Like, cold approach is kind of, taking a back seat.
Yeah.
But we also saw that it hasn't completely disappeared.
Right.
And some people even find it like more appealing now because it's so rare.
Yeah, it really underscores that, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to dating.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another, and that's perfectly okay.
Exactly. And we saw that even within this one Reddit thread, there were guys who were like finding success with dating in their own unique ways.
Yeah.
One guy mentioned that he's, in his mid-30s and is now like having more luck with women in their 20s.
Interesting.
And he attributed it to like, being approachable and friendly and maybe a bit more like mature than others in his age group.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good reminder that authenticity and genuine connection can be attractive regardless of like societal trends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It seems like confidence plays a big role too.
Oh, definitely.
Like several commenters talked about the importance of just putting yourself out there.
Yes.
Even if there's a chance of rejection.
Yes. Many emphasize that even if a cold approach doesn't lead to a date, it can help build social skills and boost confidence. Like taking those risks and stepping outside your comfort zone can be really valuable for personal growth.
It's not just about getting a date. It's about developing the confidence to connect with others in general.
Right.
And that's something you could apply to all areas of your life, not just dating.
Exactly. But, as we discussed earlier, the landscape of dating is changing, and many men are looking for alternatives to cold approach, and dating apps were a big topic of discussion in the thread.
Oh, yeah.
With some guys, loving them, and others finding them incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, they're a bit of a double-edged sword, it seems like.
Right.
On the one hand, you have like the convenience and access to a huge pool of potential partners.
Yes.
But then there's the potential for superficiality and like the whole game aspect.
Oh, totally.
Can feel really disheartening.
It's interesting you bring up the dating apps becoming a game.
Yeah.
Because it raises the question of, do they encourage genuine connection, or do they turn dating into like a competition focused on appearances and like carefully crafted profiles?
Totally. And let's not forget ghosting.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That's got to be one of the most frustrating parts of online dating.
It can be incredibly hurtful.
Yeah.
It leaves people feeling confused and rejected, and it also kind of speaks to a lack of accountability and consideration in the digital age.
Totally. It's like basic human decency has gone out the window sometimes.
Sometimes.
I guess that's a topic for a whole other deep dive.
Perhaps we can explore the ethics of ghosting in a future episode.
Yes.
But, for now, it's important to remember that while dating apps have their downsides,
Right.
they have also helped many people find meaningful connections.
It's all about using them as a tool rather than relying on them as the sole method for finding love.
Exactly. And you mentioned earlier that some men on the thread were talking about the importance of meeting people through shared interests.
Yes.
Yes. Several people emphasized joining clubs, taking classes, volunteering as great ways to connect with like-minded individuals. It's a more organic approach to meeting people who already share some of your passions.
I love it. Like instead of trying to pick someone up at a bar,
Right.
you're bonding over a shared love of like hiking or pottery or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's about creating a natural foundation for a relationship based on shared interests and values.
Totally. And sometimes, it's as simple as just being open to those chance encounters that life throws your way.
Yes.
Remember that story about the guy who met his wife at the bus stop?
Oh, yeah.
He just saw her there a few times, finally worked up the courage to say hi. And that one conversation led to a lifetime together.
It's a beautiful example of how serendipity can play a role in love.
Yeah.
Sometimes, the most unexpected moments can lead to the most meaningful connections.
It's a reminder to be present in our everyday lives and open to possibilities,
Yeah.
even in seemingly mundane situations.
Exactly. And to circle back to our original question, it seems that while cold approach might be less common than it once was, it doesn't mean that putting yourself out there is dead,
Right.
It's about being mindful, respectful, and authentic in your interactions, regardless of the method.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that everyone has their own boundaries and being sensitive to those, whether you're meeting someone online or in person. But now the big question, if cold approach IS fading away, what does this all mean for the future of dating?
That's what we're going to explore when we come back for the final part of this deep dive.
Yes, we'll tackle the bigger picture implications of these dating trends and hopefully offer some insight into what the future of romance might look like. And, while we're on the topic of the future, if you want to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to relationships and personal growth, you should definitely check out Shauna Blodge's YouTube channel, Voices of the Soul.
It's a fantastic resource for anyone who wants to learn more about themselves and how to navigate the complexities of modern life.
Yeah. Exactly. She covers everything from dating and relationships to spirituality and self-discovery. So hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and don't forget to share it with your friends.
Okay, so we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into this whole cold approach dating thing.
Yeah, it's been quite the conversation so far.
Totally. Like, we've been all over the map. Some people think
Right.
it's totally dead. Others are like, nah, it still works. And then there's this whole other world of, dating apps and different ways to meet people.
So many options.
So many options, so many opinions. But, the big question we're left with is like, if cold approach IS fading away, what does that actually mean for the future of romance? Like, what does that look like?
Right. That's the big question, isn't it?
It is. It is. So one possibility is like, are we becoming more isolated,
Hmm.
more reliant on technology, and less comfortable with, those spontaneous in-person interactions? Yeah, that's a valid concern. If we're constantly glued to our screens, are we missing out on those chance encounters? Those moments where you lock eyes with someone across a crowded room,
Totally.
or you strike up a conversation, while waiting in line for coffee.
Yeah. And it's like, are we trading, the potential for real-world sparks for like the curated perfection of online profiles?
It makes you wonder.
It really does. And it makes you wonder, like, are we losing the art of flirting, of like reading body language and navigating those initial, like, awkward but exciting stages of attraction?
It's a skill, right?
It is a skill. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to practice it.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe this shift away from cold approach isn't necessarily like a bad thing.
Interesting.
Maybe it's actually a sign of progress.
How so?
Well, think about it. Cold approach can be, intimidating, especially for women.
Mm-hmm.
It can feel intrusive or even threatening.
Right.
And maybe as we become more aware of, consent and personal boundaries, we're moving towards interactions that feel, more respectful, more equitable.
That's a really interesting perspective. And, it suggests that the shift is about more than just changing dating habits. It's about a broader societal shift towards greater awareness and consideration for others.
Totally. And maybe this will lead to like, new ways of meeting people that feel less about like picking someone up
Right.
and more about like genuine connection.
Yeah, imagine like, social spaces that are designed to facilitate organic interaction.
Ooh, I love that.
Events that encourage conversation and connection without the pressure of dating apps.
Yes.
You know?
What about technology that helps us connect with people we've crossed paths with in real life?
Oh, that's cool.
Like, you walk past someone
Yeah.
and then your phone's like, oh, hey, this person, has similar interests or, whatever.
That would be amazing. It would like bridge the gap between, our digital lives and real world interactions.
Yes.
It's like that.
So maybe the future of dating isn't as bleak as it might seem at first glance. Maybe we're just in a transition period of figuring out new ways to connect that feel, authentic and empowering for everyone.
Yeah, and hopefully this evolution will lead to relationships that are, more fulfilling and built on mutual respect and shared experiences.
Absolutely. That's a future I think we can all get behind. But we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the future of dating?
Yeah. Do you think cold approach is gone for good?
What are some creative ways you've met people or made connections?
Share your thoughts in the comments below. We're always eager to hear your perspectives and experiences.
And while you're down there, don't forget to show some love to Shauna Pelage's amazing YouTube channel, Voices of the Soul.
It's a treasure trove of insightful content on relationships, personal growth, spirituality, and so much more.
She really has a knack for breaking down these complex topics in a way that's just engaging and relatable. So hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share with your friends. Let's keep this conversation going.
We believe that sharing knowledge and perspectives is key to fostering growth and understanding, both individually and as a society.
Absolutely. Well, folks, that wraps up our deep dive into the fascinating world of cold approach dating and the evolving landscape of romance.
We hope you found this exploration thought-provoking and insightful.
Remember, stay curious, stay open to new possibilities, and most importantly, never stop exploring the beautiful complexity of human connection.
Until next time, keep diving deep.